everyone, I am here to show you what I'm doing with our vertical gardens this year. Thank you for joining me at Witch Hollow Homestead. I just got done going to, I hope the wind isn't getting picked up on this mic, it's very windy today. I just got done going to Ace Hardware to get some more dirt for our beds. And I will show you a quick preview of all the beds so that you can see what we put in this year. We got rid of all of our canvas pots except for, we're going to keep 4 of them just because of the rosemary. I like to put them in their own pots and put them on the deck because they don't like to be watered a lot. And I put lemon balm in a canvas pot last year. I put 4 plants and that's coming back, so I kind of don't want to rip that out. But everything else is in raised Vago garden beds. So let me show you what I'm going to work on today. And I'll show you the plants that I started from seed. I'm going to get those in today, and I'm also going to plant some lettuce. So let's get started. Okay, so if you're familiar with the channel and you were here last year with us, you'll know that I got a GreenStalk vertical garden. Huge success last year. I loved it, so I did buy a second one. So I will start planting in there, and then my other one from last year, I've planted 4 rows of spinach about, I'm going to say 5 weeks ago, and they're starting to come up. They are all cold hardy, so we've had some chilly weather, and I think that's why they're really happy. I'm going to do lettuce in that vertical garden as well, which we will get to that. But I thought first, let's start with the new garden and put the plants in that I started from seed. Let me show you. Okay, so here we have, I'll try to get a little bit closer without spilling the water. Okay, so starting over here with the tall plants, this is all holy basil or tulsi. I really fell in love with this last year, and I planted 3 plants, and that was definitely not enough. So I have 10 here that I'm going to put in. Huge fan of them. The ones next to that in the middle are the marshmallow. I really like those for when I have stomach ache. I like to dry them and put them in teas. I have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. And then the ones over here on the end that have a little bit of a purpley color, they are all the anise hyssop. And they're also great for upset stomach or stomach cramping, anything like that, digestive issues. Love them as well. Although I didn't know this, that anise hyssop comes back every year. At least it does for us. I don't know about everybody else. But it came back, and I will show you. Let me grab the camera and see if I can show you. Please mind the jiggling of the camera. Let's see. This is the vertical garden where I have the spinach coming up. And right here is the anise hyssop. This is from last year, and it's coming back. And I didn't know it was going to come back. And I'm really happy about that. So I now have another, I think, 5 plants that I'm going to put in our new raised bed. But let me back up a little bit, see if you can see the spinach coming in. We've got spinach coming in nicely. Really happy with it. They're looking really good. And all 4 of these tiers are all spinach. So I planted 24. Yeah, I planted 24 spinach. So, yay, lots of spinach. Okay, I hope you can see this enough. Let me see. Yep, okay, this should be good. All right, so here is the bottom of my new vertical garden. Let me move this dirt over. So, a couple of things this year. Still using the Mother Earth TerraCraft and the Groundswell soil. However, one that I was really interested to try, and it's now being sold at our local Ace Hardware, and I'm ecstatic about it, is the Coast of Maine. Wait, did I say that right? Yeah, Coast of Maine. This is the raised bed mix. I'm going to open it up. I don't know if it'll work for a vertical garden, but I'm kind of thinking I might try it just to see. But I want to see what it looks like first when I open it. It has kelp meal, worm castings, compost in it, lobster and crab shell meal. So it's kind of a complete soil mix. Just like the Mother Earth. I mean, I'm really happy with Mother Earth. It's just, this was $10 cheaper a bag, and we've had to buy a lot of dirt this year, which I'll show you why when you see all of our beds that we put in. So, with that being said, I'm going to plant my marshmallow first, and I'm going to plant that on the bottom because I had learned last year that it grows really, really high. So I am going to start that out on the first level. So we'll get this in and get some of this dirt. Oh, I didn't get anything to open the dirt. Oh, that's all right. We'll just pull it open. I also have my compost out here, which I use the Vermont compost. I really, really like that. Just in case you want to see, this is the blend that I got. I read some reviews online about it that were kind of mixed. Some people absolutely love it, and some people said sometimes the soil can be a little acidic, and then other times it's totally fine. I don't know, so I guess we're going to find out. Oh, it's very nice. It's very dark. Wow, that's nice and rich. Look at that. If any of you have used the coast of Maine, comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your experience is. I can only speak for the Mother Earth stuff, and I really, really, really like it. So I'd be excited to hear what you have to say about coast of Maine. And this is as big of a bag as the coast of the Mother Earth stuff that I would get, and it's $10 cheaper. So, feeling pretty good about that one too. Something that I always do when I put my plants in is, even though this has compost in it and everything else, I'm just going to put a little bit of fertilizer in before planting. So let's see, this is my herb and vegetable one. I use a couple different fertilizers. I use the one that I got from Vermont Compost Company. I also have used this Garden Tone, used this last year. And then I used that other one, I'm going to say it's good for the planet. You know what? I'll put the name at the bottom of the screen here. I use that one as well, and I also use a liquid kelp for a fertilizer. So I kind of just mix it up throughout the season and do different things. I always use organic, and I always make sure it doesn't have chemicals in it or anything like that. So this one was really nice. I liked this last year. None of my plants got burned out, and everything worked out really well. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this in on top of this before I plant my marshmallow. And I don't usually measure it. I just sprinkle it around, and then I like to mix it in to the soil before I plant anything. This is what I did last year. It worked really well. And I should have planted these a few weeks, like probably a week and a half back. But I didn't because our weather took a random crappy turn the last like 2 weeks. It's been rubbish. And I haven't wanted to plant my plants because it's been too cold. So that's why I'm planting them now as opposed to 2 weeks ago. And kind of like I can't avoid it anymore. They're starting to yellow from sitting in here. So no choice. that's nice. Look at the roots. Look how nice. So what I had learned last year with this vertical garden, I've got these planted, there's 6 of them, is the dirt is going to settle and there'll be less in here, but you don't want to compress it down when you plant. So what I do is I dig a hole, put my plant in, and then I pull the dirt from the center up to cover it. I'm going to put a little more dirt right here, but I don't want to put a ton because I'm going to put, these are the watering catchers, and they're going to go on here, and I want to make sure there's enough space in between. But as you can see, that's too much space. It's a big gap. So we're going to put a little more dirt in, and then I'm going to put some straw, because that way when I water, it helps distribute the water, it helps keep the soil moist. A little bit more of this in, like that. And then I'm going to get my straw. Put that over there. And get my straw in. And this works really good. I had great success with this last year. Plants were happy. Everything grew in abundance. No issues. Normally I water at the top when I water, but because I just put all this on here and I want it to be a little wet, I'm going to get the hose and just wet this a little bit. We'll get this on. Very nice. And let's get the next one. So the next thing I'm going to plant is the holy basil. Just informational purposes, when you get one of these, if you do, the first time you put the tiers together, they don't go together super well. You're going to have to be careful and just, work them. Don't hurt your plants, all that kind of stuff. But once it's been assembled and you've used it, and then you take it apart to like put more compost in or straw or fertilizer, it goes back together seamlessly. So it's just the first couple of times till it gets used to it. And when it comes to fertilizing these plants during the season, just like this, I had put my fertilizer in early in the season. And then one time I took the bed apart and sprinkled a little bit more fertilizer in. And then the rest of the time I use the liquid kelp. And I use the liquid kelp, depending on the weather, sometimes twice a week. And the plants all seem to really like it. So no issues there, which is great. Wow, these just abundantly grew. Wow. Look how beautiful. Look at that. That looks so nice. I'm so excited. I have mud on the camera here because I have to show you. Look at the root for this holy basil. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Yay! Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I have my extra holy basil, which is going to go in the other vertical garden, because I want to make sure I mix it up. The reason being is that when I did that last year, pests, especially because it was on the deck, but I didn't have any pest issues with any of my plants. So I don't want to put all of my holy basil and my regular basil in this, and then have problems down the road. So I'm going to plant 6 heads of lettuce. I do want to do 2 full ones of these, but I want to wait like another 2 weeks and then plant the other 6, just so that I don't have all these heads of lettuce being done at the same time. I learned last year that the lettuce really didn't like the heat of the summer, so like mid-July to mid-August it wasn't happy. So my thought is that when my spinach plants are done, I'm going to plant lettuce in there so that they won't start really being ready till like the end of August, beginning of September. And then I'm going to plant other spinach again because it's cold tolerant in like end of August, beginning of September, and that'll get me into like November. That's my plan. We will see. But let's get some lettuce seeds in here. I will show you the lettuce that I'm planting. This is the exact same as last year. These are the same seeds from last year. It is from the Living Seed Company. Loved everything I grew by them. Everything came up so nice. Hence, all these seeds came up beautifully too that I pre-seeded this year. This is the freckle lettuce, and then this is the red butter lettuce. Both were just beautiful. So I think I'll plant the red butter lettuce first, and then I'll plant this freckled one in another 2 weeks. I could have direct sown, I could have pre-seeded the lettuce, but I have to be honest, I really like direct sowing seeds. It just seems to work really well for me with our growing season, with the amount of time I have. It's just kind of my vibe. So if I can direct sow, I try to. So it says plant depth 1/8 of an inch. So, oh, I got this new little tool, which is handy. It gives you the measurements, which is so nice because I'm not good at eyeballing it. So I thought this was really helpful. And that's 1/2 inch. Boy, 1/8, they want it really close to the surface. So I guess I won't need this, considering that's very close to the surface. When I planted the spinach 6 weeks ago, it was on a day that it was unbelievably windy. Just crazy. And every time I put straw down, straw blew off the top. And it was a process to get those planted. So I try to not plant when it's real windy because it makes a hot mess, that's for sure. All right, so here is the other bed. Well, one of the other beds that we bought, but this is new this year. It is a 2-foot by 6-foot Vago raised bed with wheels on the bottom, which is nice. And I love the little rack underneath to put watering can and tools and all that. So I had put some used dirt in here, and I had put a little bit of compost once we put it together 2 weeks ago. I'm going to put a little bit more dirt in, and then I'm going to plant the anise hyssop in here. So with this bed, this is going to be the one that has the herbs that grow back every year. So it'll be oregano, thyme, lemon balm, and anise hyssop. And there is a cloud of bugs that just flew around me, even though it's still chilly out. I think it's 50. But anyway, so let's get going on this. And by the way, we have a squirrel who found peanuts and has been planting peanuts over the winter in some of our beds. So I just found another peanut in one of the pots on the porch. Random. But anyway, I had put some leaves and straw on the top of this 2 weeks ago from other pots that I had dumped out just to keep it protected a little bit longer until I was ready to plant. So I'm not going to take all of this off, just what I need to. And I brought a measuring tape out to know what I'm doing so that I plant accurately. I had mentioned in my previous video that I'm going to do square bed planting or square foot planting. That's what I'm going to do this year. This is the first time I'm trying it. I'm pretty excited about it, and we will see how it goes. When I read about anise hyssop, it said that it likes to be 1 plant per square foot. So I think I have 4 or 5 plants over there. I want to give this a little bit of movement, because that day I just kind of threw it in a hurry. We're going to try the coast of Maine in here again. You know, I still didn't bring a knife out. You'd think I would have learned. And I don't want to take up too much room with the anise hyssop, because oregano and thyme are 2 herbs that we use a lot, especially me. I make tea out of them. So I definitely want to have plenty of room for oregano and thyme. Lemon balm, same thing. I use a lot of it, and I want to make sure I have plenty of room for that. Anise hyssop is more of a emergency upset tummy situation. And I'm not too worried about it being cold out the next few nights with the anise hyssop, because it's growing on my porch in the vertical garden, and it's not like it's a closed-in porch or anything. It's had no issues growing. So I am not concerned. I've been preparing the plants the past week. I put them outside, I put them in the sun, I put them in the cold, I put them in the garage one night. It was going to be really cold one night, so I stuck them in the garage just to kind of get used to that big temperature swing of it's 60, but tonight it's 30. It's only a couple of weeks until I take my big vacation. Well, big vacation. It's a big vacation to me. It's 6 days. I take my vacation, and that is going to be focused on going to Circo's, which I briefly showed last year, to get all the plants that I'm not seeding. So very excited about that. So, I mean, I'll go with what they said in a square foot, but that seems like a lot of space for that plant. But I'm going to do it. It just seems like a lot. So let's draw a straight line. That's 24. We'll do 12 here. Hope my lines are relatively straight. Yeah, I thought it went a little wonky there. I didn't know that anise hyssop would be purpley. I mean, I grew it last year, but I didn't remember it having a purple tinge to the leaves a little bit. So I was kind of surprised about that. I think I'll plant... Oh, and I was going to plant marjoram. I don't know if marjoram comes back every year. I will have to look that up. Hopefully it does, because I can plant that in here too. That'll be a new one for me. I haven't planted marjoram before, so I'm pretty excited. I will get that done. You don't need to see me put straw in. That's not super fascinating. Thank you so much for joining me today at Witch Hollow Homestead. I hope you found this video helpful, interesting, enjoyable, whatever the case. I hope that you are having a wonderful spring. If you're going to grow a garden, good luck. I hope you have a great time. And I would love to hear what you're going to grow. Comment below. Let me know, because there's things I've never heard of that I get really excited about learning more about. So please comment below. Let me know about the coast of Maine if you've used that and you like it. So thank you so much for joining me today. The next video, I will show you some of the other beds. Take care. Happy homesteading.